What happens at 3:17 a.m.? Unseen footage and wet footprints reveal the truth. 3:17 a.m. is one of the most popular times for ghosts to appear. This is because most people are still sleeping by this time, which means that there is less background noise and distractions. As a result, it is much easier to see and hear ghosts during this time. There have been many reports of people seeing ghosts at 3:17 a.m., and there are even some videos on YouTube that show these apparitions. Some say that this is just a coincidence, but others believe that there is something more to this phenomenon. Some people think that the reason why ghosts appear at 3:17 a.m. is because this is when the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest. This means that it is easier for spirits to cross over into our world during this time. Others believe that 3:17 a.m. is a special time for ghosts, because this is when they are most active. Whatever the reason, it is clear that 3:17 a.m. is a popular time for ghost sightings. If you are interested in seeing a ghost, then this may be the time to stay awake. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with another scary video for you today. But before we get started, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any of our spine-tingling content. Now let's dive right in. In the dead of night, when the hands of the clock strike 3:17 a.m., a chill runs down your spine. The silence is deafening, broken only by the rhythmic tick-tock of the old grandfather clock downstairs. Suddenly, the floorboard creaks upstairs. You sit up in bed, heart racing. Was that just your imagination, or was there really someone else in the house? You lie back down, trying to convince yourself that it was just a branch scraping against the window in the storm outside. But as the minutes tick by, you can't shake off the feeling that you're not alone. Then you hear it again, the unmistakable sound of footsteps pacing back and forth on the other side of the bedroom wall. You call out, "Hello?" your voice echoing in the vast darkness. But there is no reply. You throw off the covers and creep closer to the wall, straining to listen. The footsteps stop abruptly. Could it have been the wind, you think, shivering despite the stifling heat? Just as you turn to leave, you notice something strange. On the wall, directly in front of where you had been lying, is a set of small, perfectly round indentations. It looks like someone or something has been pressing their body weight against the wall, as if standing directly behind it. But how could that be? You were lying in bed the whole time, weren't you? And as you reach out to touch the indentations, your fingers meet wet, cold concrete. Startled, you pull your hand away, only to find it covered in water. You look around frantically, searching for the source of the moisture, but everything in the room is bone dry. Confused and frightened, you make your way to the window and push aside the heavy curtains. Outside, the storm has passed and the sky is clear, not a single cloud marring the inky blackness above. What could have caused the wall to become so wet? And why did the footsteps stop when you got up? As the first rays of sunlight begin to peek over the horizon, you drag yourself back into bed, too afraid to move. You watch in horror as the wet footprints on the wall slowly begin to dry, and the indentations left by the mysterious visitor start to fade from view. You know in your heart that what you experienced last night was no ordinary event. Something sinister and otherworldly had entered your home in the dead of night and left its mark on you and your sanity. And as the day goes on, you can't help but wonder if you ever know the truth behind the terrifying events that unfolded after 3:17 a.m. But first, we need to answer the question, why do ghosts appear at 3:17 a.m.? There are a few possible explanations for why ghosts might seem more active at this particular time. One theory is that the hour of 3:17 a.m. is when the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest. This means that it's easier for spirits to cross over into our world and interact with us. If you've ever seen a ghost, you know that they often appear and interact with us only for a brief moment before vanishing again. This could be because the veil is at its thinnest at certain times, allowing them to pass through more. So if you want to increase your chances of seeing a ghost, staying up past 3:17 a.m. might be a good idea. Another explanation for why ghosts might appear at this time is that it's simply when they're most active. Some say that ghosts are drawn to people who are also awake at this hour, and so it's a good time to try to contact them if you're looking for a ghostly encounter. There are also many reports of people hearing strange noises at 3:17 a.m., such as footsteps, whispers, and knocks. These sounds are often attributed to ghosts, and it's possible that they are trying to communicate with us in some way. If you hear any strange noises at this hour, it's worth paying attention, as they may be trying to tell you something. Finally, some believe that the number 17 is significant in the occult, and that this contributes to the eerie atmosphere of 3:17 a.m. In numerology, the number 17 is said to be unlucky, and those born on the 17th are believed to be more sensitive to the paranormal. This is probably because the number 17 corresponds to the letter S in the Hebrew alphabet, which represents Satan. Some people also believe that 17 is an unlucky number, because when Julius Caesar was assassinated, it was March 17th. Of course, there's no scientific evidence to support any of these beliefs. However, they may offer an interesting explanation for why some people experience strange and frightening things at 3:17 a.m. Whatever the reason, it's clear that this is one of the most popular times for ghosts to appear. If you're interested in seeing a ghost for yourself, then it might be worth staying up until 3:17 a.m. to find out. Now let's move on to the unseen footage. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence that we have for the existence of ghosts comes in the form of unseen footage. There have been many cases where security cameras have captured images of ghosts or other paranormal phenomena. For example, in 2012, a security camera in Oklahoma City captured an image of a little girl who appeared to walk through a wall. In 2009, a security camera in Connecticut captured an image of a man who appeared to walk through a door and then disappear. There are many other cases like these, and they provide strong evidence that ghosts are able to interact with our physical world in ways that we do not fully understand. One particularly intriguing case of unseen footage comes from a home in Niagara, Ontario. In 2011, the homeowner installed a security camera system in her home. She did this because she had been experiencing strange phenomena for years, including regular shaking of her bed, regular knocking sounds, lights turning on and off by themselves, and objects moving on their own. At first, she thought that she was going crazy, but then she began to investigate and she discovered that there had been several other people in the house before her who had also experienced these strange events. She even found a story in the local newspaper from 1968 about a woman who had lived in the house at the time and how she too had experienced strange phenomena. Determined to get to the bottom of this mystery, she turned to paranormal investigators. And with their help, she set up a series of cameras throughout her home to capture any strange activity. What she caught on tape was nothing short of amazing. On one of the tapes, you could see and hear footsteps walking across the second floor, even though no one was there. Other times, you could see objects moving on their own, such as a candle that would light itself up and then blow itself out. To this day, she does not have an explanation for what she saw on those tapes. Unseen footage like this provides strong evidence that there is more to our physical world than what we can see with our own eyes. While skeptics may argue that these videos can be explained away by natural phenomena or hoaxes, there are simply too many cases to ignore. These videos provide a glimpse into a world that we cannot see, a world where ghosts and other paranormal phenomena exist all around us. Now let's move on to the wet footprints. One of the most intriguing pieces of evidence that we have for the existence of ghosts is wet footprints. There have been many cases where people have reported finding ghostly footprints in their homes or businesses. These footprints often appear out of nowhere and are always wet, even though there is no source of water nearby. In some cases, the footprints have even been accompanied by other signs of paranormal activity, such as strange lights or sounds. One of the most famous cases of ghostly footprints occurred in 1991 in a home in Niagara. The homeowners had been experiencing strange phenomena for years, such as regular shaking of their beds and objects moving on their own. Then one day they came home to find a set of wet footprints on their living room carpet. They immediately called in paranormal investigators, and what they discovered was shocking. The fingerprints appeared to be from a woman who had died in the house 75 years earlier. Even more shocking, the investigators were able to use a special camera to see the full apparition of the woman who had left the footprints. She appeared to be wearing 1920s style clothing and was standing right in front of them. While skeptics may argue that these footprints could be explained away by natural phenomena or hoaxes, there are simply too many cases to ignore. These footprints provide a tangible link to the paranormal world, a world where ghosts and other supernatural phenomena exist all around us. So what happens at 3:17 a.m.? Well, according to legend, it is the hour when the veil between the living and the dead is at its thinnest. Some say that this is when ghosts are most active, and it is easier for them to interact with us. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying that there are a lot of creepy stories and legends surrounding 3:17 a.m. So next time you're up at this ungodly hour, make sure to keep your wits about you. You never know what you might encounter. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more spine-tingling content. We'll see you next time.